to a 49er rush. Niners all day. Let's bring 6 home, baby. Let's go.
I love it, man.
It's time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, 49ers fans? It is absolutely incredible to be with you as always. I'm your host, John Chapman. Welcome to the 49ers Rush Podcast. And man, just got through watching that Texas OU game, one of the craziest games I've ever seen. Man, that defense just completely quit. And here's the deal. We're jumping into this week, and it's kind of, this is what the year is. It's NFC West time, baby. Back-to-back weeks, you have NFC West teams playing each other. And the 49ers versus the Cardinals have been close for a long time. This game's going to be fun. I know the point spread, I think it's at 5.5 currently. We're going to be getting into bets of the week, predictions, all that stuff. But we're going to dive behind enemy lines. We're going to figure this out. And again, these two teams, they play each other very, very close. And we got some bad news. There's no doubt about that. News just came out, and we're going to dive into injuries all over the place. But we could do this now. George Kittle just got moved to IR, which means he's out for 3 weeks. Now, we have our bye week next week. However, the new rule that they changed this year says if you go to IR, you have to miss 3 games, not weeks. So because we got a bye week next week, that means he's out for a month, a minimum. Now, the earliest that George Kittle could come back is our next meeting versus the Cardinals, which is, I think it's November 7th. Yeah, November 7th versus Cards. That's his first game eligible to return. Now, there's a lot on this because Kittle's been injured a lot. Let's be honest. Kittle and Jimmy Garoppolo, they've been injured a lot. And this sucks. And it sucks even more that it's Trey Lance's first start and you're missing the biggest or one of the biggest offensive weapons that we have out there. But injuries happen in the NFL. And, you know, I see all the instant kind of, you know, knee-jerk reaction saying, oh, well, Kittle's always injured and blah, he plays too hard. This is a calf injury, man. Like, you don't get a calf injury because you force contact and things like that. That's not what that is. That's not how you get that. And again, yeah, he's missed games 3 seasons in a row. And so, like, if you look at it, he missed 8 games last year. He missed 2 games in 2019. Didn't miss any games first 2 years, so he's missed 13 games now when this is all said and done, assuming he only misses 3. For the past 5 years. So it's not like injuries happen, man. It's what it is. And I think, you know, a lot of that too, that knee injury that he had last week was huge, where he jumped up to get the ball because it was overthrown. So 2 of those injuries weren't on him. 2 of those were on the quarterback freaking chunking the ball way too high and getting him killed. So I don't know. It sucks. It hurts. This is a big loss. Not trying to like downplay that. It's a huge loss. But duct tape dwelly, baby. Duct tape freaking dwelly, baby. I love it. Sticking with injuries, I wanted to just jump in. This is Kyle's press conference. Compliments of Juan Salas. Cutting these clips up. Just kind of real quickly running through all the injuries that we had. And this is before the announcement of George Kittle to IR.
All right, injury report. K'Wan Williams will be out. Jimmy Garoppolo is out. George Kittle is doubtful. Sampson is questionable, and Kinlaw is questionable.
So, again, if we stay with everything, Jimmy's out, Kittle's out, K'Wan Williams is out. That's kind of where we are. Good news. There is some good news. Trent Williams, fine. 100% go. Okay. Also good news. Elijah Mitchell, not on the injury report whatsoever with his shoulder. 100% go. He's going to be starting at running back. So, you get some positive, some negative. Any injuries, bad news. But it's not just us. And I know, like, whenever you're team specific, like we are here at the 49ers Rush Podcast, it's easy to be like, oh, woe is me. Tennessee Titans got 23 people on their injury report this week. 23. Like, we're not the most injured team this year. Yes, we have a lot of injuries, and that hurts, and it sucks. That's just what it is. But we're not the only ones that are going through this. Okay? I mean, again, you can kind of look at just across enemy lines here. Let's look at the Cardinals. These are people that missed practice Thursday. James Conner, personal issue, he's going to play. Tight end Max Williams, who's having a great year, shoulder. He's up in the air. Chase Edmonds, shoulder, didn't practice. Justin Pugh, their guard, hip, he's missed practice. Byron Murphy, their nickel, ribs, missed practice. Cornerback Antonio Hamilton, he's kind of their dime guy, ankle, missed practice. So, we'll have to see because they're the home team, and this is kind of one of the advantages / disadvantages. I always try to wait until the team gets on the plane because, again, the Saturday, right about now, when the team leaves, that's where you start all this information starts kind of leaking out. And we'll probably get a little bit more news here soon about a couple other people. But that's where we're at right now. And you take it all with a grain of salt. You have to. Because injuries happen in the NFL. That's just what it is. Now, I will say this. We are getting a little bit of reserve help from the practice squad. The 49ers have promoted Travis Benjamin, Nate Sudfeld, and Tanner Hudson, tight end Tanner Hudson, up to the active roster this week. And we also brought in Jordan Matthews, as we talked last episode. So that's kind of where we are with everything. And Travis Benjamin's going to play. I think he's going to be punt returner, kick returner. I don't think they're going to put Cannon back there again. Maybe they will, but part of me says I don't think so. I'm not seeing that. What's up, man? Appreciate it, Tommy. Thanks for the gift. He's been talking trash about the Sooners and the Longhorns all week. I still love you, brother. He said it would be a miracle if we win this game. I don't think it's a miracle, man. Let's talk Cardinals, okay? And I think it's easy to look at, okay, well, we lost the last 2 games. They've won 4 in a row. Those are correct statements. This is the damn NFL, and it's a divisional game. Divisional game. Yeah, okay? Cardinals are 4-0. All right? They're the only undefeated team left in the NFL. Okay? So what did they do? They beat the Titans. They beat the Vikings, beat the Jags, and then they obliterated the Rams. That was by far their best victory. They've done this before. They've done this before. In 2020, they were 5-2, one of the hottest teams to start in the NFL. Then they lost 4 out of 5. They finished 8-8. Cliff Kingsbury, if you want to look for a winning record, you got to go back to 2015. Guess who his quarterback was? It was Patrick Mahomes at Texas Tech, and I think he went 7-6, not even that good with Patrick Mahomes in the Big 12, which is a joke. And I'm a Longhorn fan, right? And so, I don't know, man. I get how good they are, and they're good. And we're going to jump in. I've been breaking down film for the past 2 days on them, just trying to go through all these things. But it's not really people don't understand divisional games matter and change everything. The history of this matchup, the 49ers lead all time 32-27. Okay, 49ers have won 3 out of the last 4 games. Before that, Cardinals went on a freaking tear, but we've won 3 out of the last 4 games. We won last year with C.J. Beathard as our quarterback. C.J. Beathard threw 3 touchdowns the last game versus him. We won 20-12. And so, is this a team that we can beat? Oh my gosh, yes. The 49ers can play with any team in the NFL. Now, we do have a rookie quarterback, and we're going to talk about that. But to kind of, bracket our conversation on the 49ers offense, which we have to talk about without Kittle, moving in Trey Lance. You also got Elijah Mitchell coming back. We have to do that. But let's do that within the scope and kind of sequence of the Arizona Cardinals defense. What are they? We know what the 49ers offense has been. It's going to change a lot. Their defensive coordinator is Vance Joseph, okay? And they're playing pretty damn well. Now, he's the same DC that they've had for 3 straight years. He was the head coach in Denver for 2 years before that, before they ran him out of town. Now, what are their strengths? Again, I look at the same criteria every single week whenever I'm doing these scouting reports because it just gives you such a good gauge on what it is they're providing or lacking, right? Okay, number 1 in the NFL, this defense, the Arizona Cardinals, in fumbles. They've got 5 fumble recoveries. That's best in the NFL. 3rd in turnovers with 9. So they turn the ball over a lot. Now, and again, I'm putting this information out there. Here's the issue. We got 3 rookies in the backfield that are quote-unquote starting. Obviously, Trey Lance. Then you've got Trey Sermon. And then you've got Elijah Mitchell, who I think is going to be the starting running back. And Kyle, the head coach, was asked, what's it like having 3 rookies in the backfield? Like, how do you prepare for that?
I think it's just balancing out, trying to do the best of what you think to attack somebody. You always try to put the players in the best position possible, which is trying to give them an advantage schematically. But you also got to be careful that no matter how hard you try to do that, if they also got to be able to play fast and do what they've done their whole careers to get them to this point. So you got to find that balance as a coach. You don't just throw them out and just stay simple because they're rookies, because it's a tough league and you go against some good people. So sometimes that sets them up to fail. But sometimes if you do too much to try to help them, that also can kind of handcuff them a little bit. So you try to find that balance throughout the week, throughout games, and you see how it goes.
And I think there's a lot there. First off, like you can't like training wheels them. You got to turn them loose. This is the NFL. You got to play. Now, maybe you give them a couple easy calls early, something that's not too complex, whatever else. But then you bring in a guy up from the practice squad, Jaquez, and you freaking run a trick play and all that kind of different stuff. But there are ways that you can mitigate all the risk that is at play with all these rookies playing against an undefeated team. And you got to be smart. So I'm curious to see if Kyle's going to – this is a test, man. Now, again, I've been very adamant. Kyle Shanahan's going to be here for a while. Anybody that thinks he should be replaced, I think you're just out of your mind. Kyle Shanahan would be the number 1 head coach hired by any team that had a head coaching vacancy, and it wouldn't even be close. And he'd be signing like a record contract for like 6+ years. That's just what he is. Now, does he make bad choices? Yes. Can you criticize a lot of the things he's done? Hell yes. And you should continue to do that. Just because you're a fan doesn't mean you can't criticize. But the overreaction of, we need to get Brian Daboll in here. Are you crazy? You crazy? That's no. Just no. Just no. So curious to see how he's going to call this game. If he's going to put people, especially his young quarterback, in an opportunity to be successful. Luke, what's up, man? He says, all reps aren't created equal, and all struggles aren't created equal either. I'm with you. Trey could keep this job depending on how they look, even during a loss. Yes, you must mitigate turnovers and negative plays, staying on pace. The thing that Trey Lance brings to this game that made him so valuable to the point you're trading 3 first-round picks to go get him is the explosive nature tied with lack of turnovers. Explosive offense, downfield throwing, mobile quarterback, 11-on-11 football, plus no turnovers. Can that continue? That's going to be key. Now back to this defense of the Arizona Cardinals that Lance has to play against this week. They're 5th in rushing touchdowns allowed, only 2. That's got to break. 49ers got to run the ball that's going to break. I'm telling you right now. 6th best in third down conversions. They only allow 32% success rate on third downs. And 9th best in points allowed per game. They're giving up 21 points a game, which would put you at a bottom, defense in the NFL. Not anymore. Now it's top 10. Now weaknesses, and there's not a lot. Most of their defensive categories are right around the middle, or those top ones that I listed. Again, keep in mind, there's 32 teams in the NFL, right? Weaknesses. 31st in yards per rush attempt. 31st, second to worst. They're allowing 5.4 yards per rush. But the issue is teams have just fallen so far behind early because they come out on fire. The Cardinals do. They get one-dimensional and they abandon the running game. You can't do that. You have to keep this game close early. Have to. Whether that's defense stepping up, the 49ers defense, or special teams or something, you can't put all this pressure just on your quarterback and expect him to deliver. No. Somebody's got to step up outside of the offense. Somebody's got to help create. That's something that we got to watch for this whole game. And they're 26th in the NFL in rush yards per game, giving up 135 yards on the ground. That's huge. Now, scheme, everything's multiple nowadays. A little bit more of a 3-4 over is kind of what they do. Tendencies, man, they like to move a lot. Again, doesn't trend well with a rookie quarterback. They want to confuse the rookie quarterback. That's what they're trying to do. It's not ideal for Lance, But he's just going to have to play. They like to do cover 2. I thought this was interesting because they'll do man with like a cover 1 or cover 5, as some people will call it, where everybody's playing man except for the free safety that's back in the middle of the field, just kind of hovering. And man, one of their tendencies is once the ball crosses midfield, they'll do a lot more cover 2 with 2 high safeties or a quarters look, which is interesting to me. Man on the back half of the field, and then cover 2 once they get across. And even in the red zone, they'll do that as well. So like that was one thing that I thought was interesting for sure. Now, Deebo was asked, how do you prepare for this team? You played against them a lot of time, but Deebo downplays everything. But I thought this was kind of cool just because I love who Deebo is. And with him leading the NFL in receiving yards, he's getting to be more vocal and more upfront. And I think this is so good for him.
I think you can watch film, but as you know, like teams change up things that they do week in, week out. I'm a guy that kind of play off instinct, so it takes like a player or two to adjust to what's going on out there, and then after that, we just get going.
And that seems to kind of be the MO of what Deebo is. Like, that's fine. Let's get it going. You got a couple plays, but eventually it's just backyard football. We're going to run this play. Let's go. Let's make something happen. And Deebo kind of brings that element that, you know what? I'm tougher than everybody else on this side of the field, and I'm just going to impose my will. You know, Kittle brings that as well. Unfortunately, unfortunately, Kittle is going to be gone for a while. Now, blitz tendencies. This was interesting, okay? Last week versus the Rams, they blitzed 8 times. Previous week versus the Jags rookie quarterback, they blitzed 13 times. Vikings, 18 times. Titans, 14. I expect a lot of blitzes. I think 11 to 12 blitzes right there in between. That's kind of the league average. I'm expecting 15-plus blitzes. They're going to try to confuse this quarterback. Vance Joseph, he's been around a while. And, yeah, I think, you know, that's one of the things that we're going to have to see. Now, the good news is whenever they blitz, that helps up with the passing lanes. You're going to have one guy less in coverage if Trey can pick it up fast enough. That's something to watch. That's huge. Now, players to watch out for in this defense, they are 2 studs. Chandler Jones, I think, is a top 3 pass rusher in the NFL. I think him, Bosa, and Myles Garrett, they're top-notch. I don't put TJ Watt in there, TJ, with the Steelers, because he's more of like a hybrid linebacker / pass rusher. It's just a different position, even though he's incredible. But, like, you could say the same thing about Chandler Jones, that he plays similar out there. But I just think he's just nuts. He had 5 sacks week 1 versus the Titans. He could take over a game. The good news is we got Trent Williams, who is by far the best offensive lineman in the NFL. It's not even close. Whether it's PFF, film, pancakes, whatever, run game, doesn't matter. He's the best. That's the best matchup in this game. Chandler Jones versus Trent Williams. Gosh, it's going to be incredible. That's must-watch TV. And the second huge player, Budda Baker. I would argue, again, might be the best safety in the NFL. I had him, the huge draft crush. I love that dude. I had him number 14 overall on my draft board that year in 2017. He ended up going number 32. I think 32. Yeah. He went in the second round. He's just incredible. And so, like, I think that's big. J.J. Watt, I know a lot of people want to talk about him. His numbers, he's playing well. But his numbers are almost identical, a little bit worse than Eric Armstead. Like, this is not J.J. Watt of old. He has 0 sacks so far, but he does have 17 pressures. Now, you look at Eric Armstead's stats through 4 games. He has 1 sack with 16 pressures. So they're basically the same thing. They move outside, inside. They're the same thing. Take that for whatever you will. I get J.J. Watt's going into the Hall of Fame. No doubt he deserves it. But who we have currently, that's not the same J.J. Watt. It's not. It's just not there. Now, I wanted to hear it again, talking about this defense. They're going to go against a rookie quarterback on his first start, and they're excited. Here's what Trey Lance had to say about getting his first start and how he feels about it.
I mean, I'm excited. I think I'd be excited regardless of what game it is. I'm probably just excited for this one as I was week 1, 2, 3, and 4. But like I said, I'm not going to make it bigger than what it is. It's football. I feel prepared. I feel ready to go. I'm excited to go and compete with these guys.
Dude, he says the right thing. He moves forward with everything. It's just who he is. Now, players that he can exploit, because they're out there. Linebackers are bad. Despite the draft capital revenue that is spent on them, Isaiah Simmons hasn't played well. He's not good. He's playing out of position. Zaven Collins, who I really, really like, he's not playing well. Jordan Hicks, who they just picked up off of free agency, he's a Longhorn guy. He hasn't played well, but he's out snap counting them both and out tackling both. Like, he is playing better than the two guys they spent first-round picks on. So they're out of position, and it looks bad. Whenever you're watching their film, the whole time I'm just like, man, these backers are not good at football. And if you remember, last year, we picked on Isaiah Simmons big time. We kept doing those running back option routes against them and all that stuff. Curious to see if we're going to do that again, if that's where we agree to attack. Secondary's decent. Safeties are pretty dang good. Corners, not that great. Nothing special there. Byron Murphy, who was another first-round pick, he's a pretty good slot corner, but who spends a first-round pick on a slot corner? I don't know, man. I think that's a misappropriation of funds. That's just my own thing. But they draft so well in the second round, though. There's no doubt about that. And we are going to be jumping into, I'm excited about this. We got a lot of bet stuff, but before we do that, I want to say thank you to our sponsor, Pristine Auction. Then we're going to get to the offense and some bets of the week. Today, I'm here to tell you about pristineauction.com. If you're into sports memorabilia at all, this is your number one nonstop shop. They've got everything. And if you use our promo code RUSH, you get $10 off your first item. And they have everything. They gave us compliments. Check this out, baby. We got an autographed Trey Lance jersey. You can get this and a whole bunch of other stuff, which, again, finding a Trey Lance autographed 49ers jersey is difficult. Thank you to them just for sponsoring the podcast and hooking us up with this gear. And here's the best thing about it. The more of you sign up, the more stuff they give us to give away. We'll be giving away this bad boy at the 49ers Rush Road Trip coming up in Chicago. So if you want to win this or other memorabilia, signed jerseys, helmets, everything that you can think of for any sporting team, they've got it over there. So head over there, let them know the 49ers Rush podcast sent you by using the promo code RUSH. All right, now, and again, make sure you head over there, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. We still have hotels, discounted hotels. This is the last week for discounted hotels to the Chicago trip. This is it. So if you're thinking about booking your trip, we're staying on Michigan Avenue, walking distance to the game in Chicago. This is the last week you got. So if you don't book it this week, I'm sorry, I can't help you. Everybody keeps reaching out the week of. I don't get to keep those rooms set aside. That's part of the contract that we signed with these guys. They turn them back over quick. Remember, we're going to be partying the night before. It's going to be an absolute blast out in Wicker Park. Going to be great. And then we're doing our tailgate the morning of the game at the stadium. It's going to be great. Unlimited beer, unlimited brats, great time. It's going to be a lot of fun. So again, get all the information and tickets, 49ersrushroadtrip.com. I want to be emailing out the itinerary for that, hopefully within the week. Definitely within the week. So just stay tuned for that. That's coming up. Now let's talk about the offense. Make no mistake, their defense is good. Their offense is great. Kyler Murray's playing at NFL MVP level. He's playing lights out. Their offensive coordinator is Cliff Kingsbury, very similar to what Kyle Shanahan is with the 49ers, where he's the head coach and play caller. That's what they have set up as well. Now listen to these strengths, okay? It's a lot. First in total points per game. They're averaging 35 points a game. First in total yards, 440 yards per game. Second in net yards per pass attempt. Second in rushing touchdowns, fourth in passing yards, fifth in passing touchdowns, sixth in rush yards per game, rush attempts per game. Like, they're all over the place. Like, everything's working. Everything. Weaknesses, interceptions. That's it. They've thrown 4 picks, which is 25th in the NFL. That's the only thing that's worse than 16th or average. Like, this is a great offense. It's a high-flying, quick tempo, multiple everything. They're in 11 personnel almost exclusively. Now, if their tight end Max Williams out, I'm curious to see what they're going to do there. Because if I was playing the 49ers, I'd take my tight end out and I'd go, just 5 wide receivers, because probably the biggest issue the 49ers defense currently has is against empty sets. We don't know how to guard it. It's bad. We keep putting Azeez on their best wide receiver. We had Azeez in man coverage in the goal line versus Devontae Adams multiple plays 2 weeks ago. We had Azeez versus DK Metcalf in man coverage last week. Like, you can't do that. So that's one thing I'm kind of concerned about, and I want to see if we make that adjustment to be able to say, like, okay, my rules as a linebacker says I go to the 2 wide receiver side into the boundary. But if that's Hopkins, man, no. You go to the other side. we don't want Azeez on DeAndre Hopkins. Do not want. 4 wide like crazy, and this is the air raid. Again, if you watch Big 12 football, you've seen this crappy offense. I hate it. I really don't like it. But it's working. Why is it working? It's all Kyler Murray. And so everything's real quick, short, or deep. That's what everything is. And whenever you blitz Kyler, that's the worst thing you can do. Kyler has a perfect passer rating when blitzed so far this season. He's 18 for 25, so he's been blitzed 25 times on pass plays. He's completed 18 of those passes for 300-plus yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You don't blitz him. And if you do, it better be quick. That delayed blitz crap does not work. Okay? So again, like I said, short and quick or deep. That's what they do. They don't do a lot of intermediate. If you look at just deep passing alone, which he's got an arm on him, he's 13 of 19 on 20-plus yard air yards on those balls. 13 of 19. Dude's airing it out. And I think this is another thing that's interesting, too, with their tendency. They don't have a go-to receiver. They're spreading it out between all 4. You got DeAndre Hopkins, A.J. Green, Christian Kirk, and Rondale Moore. All 4 of those have between 16 and 20 catches. All of them. So it's pick your poison. It's not... you go back to week 1 last year where it's like 15 passes to DeAndre Hopkins. That's not what they're doing this year. They're spreading it out. And so it's a lot of pre-snap reads, and they know where they're going, and the ball's coming out quick. So their wide receivers, I'm still pretty pissed about Rondale Moore going to the Cardinals. I love that dude. He's awesome. And to put into perspective how great Rondale Moore has been, they got him in the 2nd round. He's forced 8 missed tackles so far this year. George Kittle's forced 8 missed tackles. Deebo's forced 5. So, again, putting that where it is. And I keep getting mad because there were 3 players that I was fighting for all offseason in the 2nd round. Rondale Moore, Asante Samuel Jr., and Creed Humphrey. And all 3 were on the board when we were on the clock in the 2nd round. We traded back, which I thought was a great call. ASJ went right before us, and I was like, Creed Humphrey, or Rondale Moore. And then we went Aaron Banks, which is a bummer. Hopefully Aaron Banks turns his career around. But, man, those 3, gosh, every one of them look like they're just going to be stars for a long time. I need to get over it. I need to let it go. But y'all know me. I'm not letting it go. I'm freaking bitter. It's what it is. Now, players to exploit. Their O-line's terrible. By design. They don't care about it. Everything that Cliff Kingsbury has done to build this team, it's to be a 7-on-7 football team. O-line, they give 0 resources to. And again, everything is get the ball out quick, very fast reads, spreading the field, creating space, horizontally, or move the pocket. Let Kyler run around. We don't care. Linemen just get in the way. That's their mentality. They create holes and stuff for their running game by alignment. That's what they do. It's not with talent up front. That's just what it is. So not a good O-line, but they do get the ball out quick. So their offensive line, if you can cover and force Kyler not to escape the pocket, got to keep him in there because he's bad whenever he throws from the pocket. That's where, not that he's bad, that's where he's at his worst. Okay? All 4 interceptions, which he's got 4 interceptions, all 4 have been when there's no blitzing. Can't blitz him. All 4 when he's not blitzed. You got to corral and keep inside and force him to beat you with his arms. That's the only way that you're going to get a win. That's it. So I know all the focus is on Trey Lance, and rightfully so. As Niners fans, it should be because this is going to determine our future. The first game's not going to determine our future, and we're all going to overreact. Whether it's great, I'm going to be freaking shouting from the mountaintops, or if it's bad, we're going to be like, oh, man, what a bust. Why didn't we get so-and-so? Fill in the blank. Don't do that. Don't do either of those. I know I'm going to, but that's who we are as fans, right? Well, let's get into some betting with my bookie. I love these guys. I got a lot of bets this week. Is there anything better than sweating out a fourth quarter win and coming away with cash in your pocket? Well, at MyBookie there is. Make your first deposit and receive double, twice as much your money before you ever even place a bet. You double your money at MyBookie. That's a dollar for dollar match on whatever you throw down up to $1,000. Now, with that extra scratch, you can get all in on the biggest games of the week, including the Sunday night matchup, Buffalo versus Kansas City, or if you want to bet the 49ers versus Cardinals. There's so much action over there. And as if you needed any other reason to head to mybookie.ag to celebrate the start of Major League Baseball playoffs, go Giants, MyBookie is hosting a $20,000 blackjack tournament for free. Did you hear that? $20,000 blackjack tournament for free. Winning season's here, so get in the game. Get to mybookie.ag now. Use promo code 49ers, 49ERS, to get your double deposit bonus. Or you can scan the QR code on the screen right now. Again, that's promo code 49ERS. So you can double your funds to double your winnings. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. All right, the 49ers are plus 5.5. That's a lot of points on a division game. And I get it. Everybody's riding hot right now, and the mentality is this team's undefeated. They're coming off a very strong performance on the road. Now they got to play the 49ers who've lost 2 in a row. Over-under set at 48.5. So here's my favorite bet of the week, okay? I'm taking the 49ers, but I bought 2 points on top of the spread. So it's 49ers plus 7.5. So the 49ers have to lose by more than a touchdown. More than a touchdown. And we still get paid. Bet 10 to win 6. That's my favorite bet of the week. Again, small money's good money. That's kind of the mindset of that. I'm also taking the over on this game. I think there's going to be moments where this is a slow game, but make no mistake, man. Trey Lance is explosive for both sides. For both sides. I think that this is going to be a high-scoring game. I really do. I hope the 49ers defense steps up. But again, pay attention to the numbers that they have put up already. Talking about the Cardinals. They're averaging over 440 yards a game. They're putting up some points. And I think that we're going to get some points on this. I really, really do. So I bet the 49ers plus 7.5. And I also put 10. I put 10 on that to win 6. Also doing a 2-team teaser with the 49ers. 2-team plus 6 teaser where the 49ers are plus 11.5 points. And the Texans, I'm taking the Texans plus 14.5 against the Patriots. That's a lot of points. The Patriots just announced they're without 4 starting offensive linemen. Again, talking about injuries, they only have 1 starting offensive lineman from last week. 4 out of 5 are out. And yeah, I know the Texans are trash, but man, I don't even know if a team can score 14 points in that game. It is going to be low scoring. I think the over-under is like 30. So, yeah, I think the Patriots probably win that game. But man, the idea of winning by over 2 touchdowns without an offensive line and a rookie quarterback, I just don't buy it. By betting 10 to win 8.3. So you can go check that one out. And again, just a couple other things that I bet on. Again, if you want my bets, Patreon's the best way to go. I list all my bets on there. I already posted them. Patreon.com. Just search 49ers Rush Podcast. Hit subscribe. I do bets of the week every week. This one is a fun one. Deebo to have more receiving yards than DeAndre Hopkins. Bet 5 to win $4.70. And again, you multiply that up however you want. That's what I put in there. And I also put in, I think, before the Kittle news. So I think they're going to take this down. First touchdown scorer, Ross Dwelly. It's a long shot bet, but it's plus 3,000. Bet 2 to win 60. Anyway, so I put that on there. Now let's jump over. Let's do this. Let's do our predictions and keys to the game. And I want y'all to hold me to these. I know a lot of people say like, oh, I'm the positive guy and a homer and whatever else. Don't care. Hold me to this. I love Trey Lance, and I think he's going to be great. Do I think he's going to struggle? You bet your rear end I do. I really, really do. But my predictions and keys to the game. Number 1, do not blitz. Oh, please no delayed blitzes. Please no delayed blitzes. Stop doing that, like, look like you're blitzing up the middle and bail and put your people in bad position. I don't want that. Force Kyle to beat you with his arm. Again, all 4 of his interceptions this year have come whenever he was not blitzed. 3 of his interceptions came when it was a clean pocket. So, like, force him to throw from there. 4-man pressure. and back up your corners on 3rd and long. Stop doing that press corner crap on 3rd down and we keep getting all those PIs. No. Back the corners up a little bit. Allow them to look and see what they're playing. I think that's important. I love this. Thank you, Luke. He says 28-5. Faithful stand up, support the pod. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate the gift, brother. I love it. Absolutely love it. Now, this whole game, and I think it's really, really important. And I think Luke's spot on as always. This game is about number 5 for us. It's about this rookie quarterback. And Kyle Shanahan was asked, "Are you nervous at all for Trey Lance?" And I thought his answer was very honest.
Yeah, that's how I feel every week, though. Even quarterbacks who played 1,000 games before, you have quarterbacks who have thrown, are great throwers, and all of a sudden one day they struggle. So that's how the league is every single Sunday. I'm excited to see him play. I know he's got the ability to do a lot of things. But, it's going to be his first time out there for the whole game, and I'm just pumped to see him play. But I don't go into it expecting anything. You try to prepare a guy as good as you can. From our standpoint, I know he's done his part in preparing, and then when Sunday comes, that's usually the spot where you get to have fun and just cut it loose, and you live with the results.
Yeah, you got to cut him loose, and I hope that he gets to be at that point. So Kyle Shanahan's usually great at scripted plays. We definitely had, last couple games where we stalled early. Last week we were on fire. We came out, drove down the field, scored a touchdown. It was incredible. Which 49ers offense do we get? Got to limit those negative plays. I think that's kind of key. So how do you draw up this game plan? How do you get it to the place where, again, there's going to be mistakes. Trey Lance is going to make mistakes. And we saw that in the Patreon breakdown. Missing checkdowns, and Trey Lance even talked about it. I've got to fix certain things. Keeping the momentum rolling, not stopping the drive because of a negative play. That's what he's got to do. So what does this game plan look like for Trey Lance? Here's your answer.
Just with it being his first start and stuff, just trying to give him stuff he's comfortable with, stuff we put him through. You don't want to sit there and make up too much new stuff. There's only a couple days to practice it, and you just want to make sure he's comfortable as possible.
Yeah, keep him comfortable, keep him happy. Just moving forward. Man, I'm so pumped. So here's my question, okay? And again, how do the 49ers win this game? It's a winnable game. Now, I know they're not favored, and I know they're supposed to lose. This is a division opponent, and no, this is a winnable game. They're all winnable. It's the NFL. You got to keep it close early. That's number 1. Keep the game close early. Do not go into a panic situation with a rookie quarterback where he feels he has to throw. The way that you do that, you run the freaking ball. And not just scrambling around running like what we saw with Seattle whenever he came in last week. No. Designed run plays are key. Design run plays. Not drop back, let them scramble, can't find anything, then go. No. Designed running game plays. I don't care if it's design run play for Trey Lance or Sermon or Juszczyk or whomever. Mitchell, don't care. Deebo, Ayuk. Design run plays are key. And you can run against this defense. Both our running backs have to have a good game. Mitchell and Sermon have to have great games. Great games. You cannot lose. This is number 2. Cannot lose the turnover battle, which the 49ers have been awful at this year. We've only forced 1 turnover. You can't do that. So Trey's got to protect the ball, which is going to be hard to do with this pass rush, but he's got to excel at that. I don't care really about... Let me phrase it this way. Trey has to keep his explosive plays and not have turnovers. Positive explosive plays is how the 49ers win this game. Defensively, you've got to do something. You got to get 2 turnovers to win this game. We've only forced 1 in 4 games. You got to get 2. This team does turn the ball over, though. And special teams cannot cost you. I think that's important. When special teams have played well, we have won close games. Look at Philadelphia, right? And look at week 1. Well, actually, week 1, we actually had bad games. But the last 2 games, special teams hurt us. Both times. You got to fix that. You cannot allow special teams to take away a negative with a turnover on a return or something along those lines. I think that's a big reason why Travis Benjamin is getting called up as well. And here we go. Here's my key stat for the day. 49ers need to run the ball 32 plus times. 32 plus. Lance is going to throw his first interception, but still keeps fighting back. This is my prediction. Come at me. Y'all freaking... If I'm wrong about this, y'all come at me. Come at me swinging. I love it, man. I got thick skin, literally and figuratively. Lance throws his first interception of his career. The 49ers fall back in the second half, but they fight back. I see us driving, scoring on back-to-back possessions in the fourth quarter, tying it up. Defense holds, drive down, and kick a field goal with Joey Slyer, new buff kicker, to get the go-ahead field goal as time expires. That's what I'm seeing, baby. I got the 49ers winning 27-24. Come at me. Come at me, bro. I put my money where my mouth is, too, because I bet this on my bookie. Now, I'm not telling you guys to do this. The bets that I propose and I think about and I write out and I run through a whole bunch of different people that do this seriously. Like, we put a lot of time into the bets I put on the site and that I talk about on here. Me, personally, I bet us the money line. I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it. Go with the points, get the points. But I got the 49ers winning 27-24, and Trey Lance closes the window on who the starting quarterback is moving forward. That's what I got. Oh, what's up, Debbie? Thank you so much for the gift. That is very, very generous and kind of you. She said, I appreciate your points of view, young man. Let's go get it. Yes, ma'am. That's what I'm talking about, Debbie. Appreciate the positivity and the gift. That is awesome. This is so cool, man. You guys have to be able to look at this game and just be so excited. You have to. I get the Kittle news. I get the Garoppolo news. I get the, we're 2-2. We're sitting at 500. Guess what? The 49ers win this game. You're one game out of first place in the NFC West with 12 games left. And you're going into a bye week. This is a possibility. Be pumped. Be excited. The season will not be decided week 5. It's not. Even if the 49ers lose, it's not decided this week. But you can make a huge exclamation point on the future trajectory of this franchise, both immediate and long term. Go get this win, baby. Oh, I don't think anybody's as excited about this game than me. Maybe Trey Lance's parents, maybe, but probably not as much. I'm pumped, guys. This is going to be a lot of fun. As always, we'll be live right after the show. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. But right after the show, man, win, lose, draw, Trey Lance is a bust, don't care, any of those types of takes. I want them all, baby. Bring all the smoke. Right after the game, right here on the YouTube channel. Just type in John Chapman or 49ers Rush. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys for all the support. This is going to be a lot of fun tomorrow. Enjoy it. And as always, stay strong, faithful.